Welcome to TUC 18.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Yeah. So tell me a little bit about you guys and where you've come from, your business.
So we're ESP Associates. We have 12 offices across the country. Everything pretty much started in North Carolina, so we're heavily focused in the Carolinas, but we have offices in Florida, Indiana, Pittsburgh, New Mexico, and Randy and I are based out of our Indianapolis office, so we do a lot of mobile LiDAR collection and extraction out of that office. So
tell me give me some examples of some of the projects that you've done.
Pretty heavily involved in the transportation industry. A lot of work for DOTs and consultants of DOTs. We've started getting a little bit more into some electric transmission and distribution type work. A few years ago we did some fiber optic type design work collections for like make-ready engineering. So we were doing kind of a little bit out-of-the-box collection for that. I mean, traditionally they were using just boots on the ground to go out and measure, basically hot stick measure all of the utility lines, so they could decide where they needed to fit a secondary line in. So we had collected data and developed a workflow to keep boots off the ground and make it a safer environment so it could be done by a multitude of people instead of a handful of people on the ground. So
tell me about, Randy, about your background. Where have you come from and what did you start off doing?
Yeah. Late bloomer to surveying world. Went back to college when I was 35.
Right.
Met Ryan at a survey convention, and we talked, and he hired me, and he's trained me, and dove into TopoDOT, and just from there it's just grown. Yeah, continue growing in the industry and the softwares. So.
Right.
Okay. He's better than I am at the TopoDOT side now.
He says the student has become the master.
Yeah, that's good. So take me back from the early days, because I know that you pretty much had TopoDOT from the beginning. So just give me some project ideas that you've done or projects that you've worked on.
Well, I mean, so when I got started, I worked with this couple companies ago. I kind of started evaluating LiDAR systems more on the static side. And at that time, it was still, I don't want to say completely in its infancy, but it was still tough to tell who was going to be the industry leader at that point. So I started looking at, everyone had always told me, the software is going to be your biggest hurdle. And that's when I started investigating software and kind of had found TopoDOT pretty early on, and that's how I got involved. I remember going down to do training with Regal USA. I think this was it was 2010 or 2011. It was, like I said, it was pretty early on. And I think that the group, Ted and his group had just moved over into their own office space. And
Next door.
Yeah, right next door, yeah. They shared a bathroom pretty much, I remember that. And I remember, during one of our breaks from my Regal training, Ted called me over, had his whole team there, and they were just kind of grilling me with questions, and so I could tell very early on that they were very interested in hearing what everybody's perspective was, how they could make improvements to their software. So I could tell right from the get-go that that was going to be a special relationship with his team that we've, it's been a really special relationship to where I can call up, and there's a lot of new faces now, but I can call up all the old favorites there, and they know who I am, and we've asked for solutions before and got solutions within an hour. Ted was saying this morning that people have asked for custom solutions, and a couple days later they have a tool, and we've got them as quick as an hour before. Sure. So the reactivity of the group is pretty amazing.
And that's one thing I want to continue as we grow, so we don't lose, because that's a very strong value part of what we do.
Absolutely.
So yeah, definitely. So have you got any specific projects that you thought, I could have done with TopoDOT in the earlier days for that, and how it went?
The only thing I can think is like the way the enhancement of the tools have come along over the years. And
auto extraction using templates and has really increased productivity.
yeah, so some of those
efficiency.
things that have just changed over the years. I mean, it started out, I don't want to say raw, but a pretty core group of tools that have greatly expanded. Like I say, one of the biggest things, so now that I have Randy and an extraction team, I focus primarily on the data collection aspect and the registration of data. So the QC tools that were not there in the early days have been a really big benefit to me to analyze our data to make sure that we're putting a quality product out, A, to our clients, and B, to our team that's going to be extracting, so they don't come back and say, hey, there's something misaligned here we need to take a look at. We can
Yeah, so you
mitigate
do this
those.
beforehand, so the process beginning, at the beginning. So what about storage and stuff like that? Do you use the online storage? How do you store your data?
Yeah, we just started using Topo Cloud. It's I don't know, for whatever reason, we just never got around to it before. We shipped hard drives. I'd say we've spent $10,000 on hard drives over the years, if not more. So when we start looking at, ways to push the data across the country, it's become way more cost effective and easier for us, for sure. And it's more intuitive than an FTP site. And our clients, well, we're kind of in the testing phase, and our clients right now are giving us extremely positive feedback on what they're
Good.
seeing.
So it's interesting with the cloud because I speak to a lot of people who think, oh yeah, no, we'd rather have it on our server or on a hard drive. Why do you think that? Why was it just from your own experience?
Comfort level, they've dealt with their own server before. I know the clients we're delivering it to, we deliver it through the Topo Cloud, but they're downloading it to their server as well. So, it's just a more efficient delivery for us, quicker. They usually kick off the download overnight, and it's their data's on their server the next morning.
Yeah. So I suppose it's a new thing. It's like with all like Google Drive now and stuff like that. I use Google Docs all the time, and it's just like getting used to it, I suppose, using it on the cloud.
Right.
So yeah. So what are some of the things that you like about the team and what Ted does and that sort of thing?
I mean, you obviously get Ted talking about any subject, and that conversation can stretch out for a lengthy amount of time. So it's always great to see Ted and talk to him and get him going on a subject. Mauricio, like I said, his reactivity to us and our needs has just been second to none. So, we don't have that. We use a multitude of softwares, Autodesk products, MicroStation or Bentley products. And you can't get someone on the phone with those companies. So.
Yeah, you're submitting sport tickets and waiting days just for a reply off that, and you can email or call Mauricio, and he's pretty available.
That's got to grow with us as we get bigger. From doing all the European stuff, they've heard about the service, so it's now I've got to make sure that we continue with it. So what do you think of TUC? You're new to TUC, aren't you?
This is year 3.
Yes,
I've
sir.
been here ever since, so I love it. I catch something new every time we're down. The first one was really amazing to see, Mike and the different developers using the software and the way they use it. We picked up a lot of great things from them, just little things that make, just using a shift key in a tool, or what it does to improve your speed. So I think the guys that we have this year, that's what I've encouraged them to do. It's just if you find the little things, the little golden nuggets, will improve our efficiency. So.
Yeah. What about yourself? Because you've been here since day one as well.
It's a good opportunity from a marketing standpoint, obviously for us, to meet some new TopoDOT users.
There's a lot of new ones this year. A lot with the little red on the tickets. Yeah.
I've been seeing a lot of red.
So yeah, we have 7 people from ESP here, and then several of our clients are here as well. So that's good. And the availability and ease of use of the software helps us on the acquisition side of data collection. So we can, go out and collect more and more data for people, and they can take the data in-house and do their own feature extraction. So we see, the more people using the software is helping to expand our business, because we can go acquire more data for people.
Yeah, there you go. What would you say would be a percentage figure of how much faster you've got using TopoDOT? Put a figure on it.
Well, for me, it's about 100% because I knew nothing about it coming in. It had a little learning curve, but once, he would have to do the percentages based off
30, 40%.
the old surveying method versus.
Oh, versus traditional surveying?
Yeah, well, yeah, dealing with all the data, really.
Right. I mean, I think easily we're 30-40% faster, more efficient than traditional surveying methods, if not more.
What about a monetary value? Could you put a monetary figure on projects?
Yeah, I mean, so I know what traditional survey costs, and I know what we charge our clients that are hiring us, and it's, you know, I think we're, you know, easily 60% less than what traditional survey would be. So.
And what about using TopoDOT though as well from all the point cloud, processing all that point cloud data? What would you say the differences in there? I mean, you said it about 30-40% anyways.
From other softwares?
Yeah.
We don't use other softwares,
Yeah,
so
well,
we wouldn't
that's
know. I talk to people all the time that because we, like I said, we collect a lot of data for other clients. They take the data and then what they do with it after the fact, you know, whether they're using TopoDOT or another software. And we've seen people that have tried to use,
Well,
you know, other
yeah.
non-TopoDOT projects and had seen the end results, and it's
I
definitely.
will chime in that we have one, I've dealt with one that they could do 1 line, 1 mile, 1 hour.
Yeah.
So with TopoDOT, we can do 6 or 7, you know, curb line, back a sidewalk, and, you know, that same hour, multiple lines and multiple miles, so.
Yeah, so we can, I mean, if you think about it from that perspective, 1 line an hour versus 7 lines an hour, that's 7 times faster,
Yeah.
so.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much for coming today
Yeah.
and sitting down on this interview.
Thank
Great,
you.
thanks for having us.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.